Hey everybody, hope you are doing well. This video is fun because it's always good to go back and look at all of the things that I tell you which are happening in an ideal world, and then industry goes and decides maybe that's not the best thing in the world to do anymore. Um, so to me, this video is fun because I'm very cynical and jaded, and at some point you might all be that too. So this video is titled Microservices OS. So I've got some slides to show you, and some of these are from 437, is forewarning. Now, at this point in the class, we would be talking about decoupling standard applications, so kind of like how we talk about going from a monolith to a bunch of microservices, because the idea is that you take this big thing, you split it up, things are more scalable, they're decoupled nicely, and everything can be very easily managed and updated, right? Project manager's dream, where if I update the front end, it's not going to impact anybody on the back end. And we can still accomplish that in a monolith. But point being that for the longest time, I mean, at least since 2015, if not sooner, the idea was that microservices are what you should do because that's what everybody else is doing, right? Now, my point is, or the thing that we're talking about here, there have been some articles that have come out in recent years. So this one's from 2023. This one is, yeah, there's a ton of them out there on the web. I'll link one or two of them in the description below. But people are kind of going away from microservices. At least some of them are. So this article, which kind of kicked everything off and kind of drew my attention to it at least, is that Amazon, the biggest cloud provider worldwide, as far as I'm aware, they have ditched microservices, saying that it's a terrible idea. And there's some nuance to that. Obviously, it's not black and white clearly, but I would recommend checking out some of the articles that are out there. Basically, what happened was everything they did, at least in terms of Prime Video, so Amazon's video streaming service, was all microservices because that's what you're supposed to do. And it turns out that that was wildly expensive, and they saved a ton of money by going to a monolith, weirdly enough. Um, so instead of using serverless EC2 and ECS to do essentially a bunch of probably cloud functions tied to various um, platform as a service types of applications and go back to monolith. Essentially, what's going on that they found, and highly, not trivializing, but summarizing here, it seems like there is a lot of cost involved with writing to buckets and reading from buckets at such a massive global scale. And once you go back to a monolith, some of those issues go away. Now, it's fun to kind of sensationalize this and say, oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world. Stop doing microservices. But really, it becomes a study in what makes the most sense for your architecture and for your system, right? Do microservices make sense? Absolutely. They are self-contained, easily updatable things that separate teams can work on without impacting anybody else as long as you respect your well-defined APIs. However, we don't have to go overboard and make everything purely decoupled, right? Sometimes it makes sense to have a monolith. But it's kind of funny, and I say funny very specifically because I just find this humorous. Um, one of the largest applications worldwide says don't do this. Um, but basically, it really just means you have to really analyze your application or your company or your department's needs, figure out what makes the most sense, and actually spend some time doing some requirements gathering, some initial design. Basically, make sure that you think things out before jumping onto the next newest buzzword or the one that has been in place for years and years and years and years and years, right? But again, just kind of a short little video because I find this so funny. Again, I'll have some links in the description for you to parse through or to read through and have fun with it. Make sure that you build a nice monolith with some microservices supporting it, I suppose. All right, have a great day, everybody.